Welcome to Scent Stories, the podcast that explores the fragrances shaping how we feel, remember, and express ourselves. Today's episode is inspired by a very refreshing theme: citrus perfumes. Just imagine gleaming glass bottles filled with sunlit liquid and a promise of bergamot, neroli, and fresh summer air. For the next 10 minutes, settle in as we walk through each bottle, unpack what makes citrus perfumes so addictive, and how you can find a bright, uplifting scent that still feels sophisticated.
That's right. Citrus is such a radiant element in perfumes. It has this inherent ability to evoke feelings of joy and cleanliness, almost like a burst of sunshine on your skin. The top notes, which are typically the first impressions you get from a fragrance, often include vibrant scents like bergamot, lemon, and mandarin. These notes evaporate quickly, but set a
Bergamot, particularly, is a fascinating ingredient. It's prized not just for its pleasant aroma, but because it represents a little bit of everything. It's sweet, slightly bitter, but incredibly radiant. This creates an olfactory experience that is both uplifting and grounding.
Exactly. And let's not forget neroli, which is derived from orange blossoms. It adds a lovely floral, honeyed twist to the mix. Citrus scents aren't just about that sharp burst of energy. They can be designed to feel complex and layered. That's something we're seeing more of in modern perfumery, where brands combine citrus with deeper notes like wood, resin, and musk to create fragrances that can last longer and suit more occasions, and not only the summer days.
And that brings us to our next segment, where we'll dive into some of these luxurious citrus bottles. Imagine one of them in front of you. It's a sculptural yellow bottle, perhaps looking like a heart. This one is Map of the Heart's V9 Wonder, a niche Australian perfume that tells a heart story through each scent.
V9 opens with the bright aromas of bergamot and mandarin, spiced with timot pepper, which adds an exciting nuance of heat. So instead of a flat lemon water feel, you get a vibrant citrus heat that feels alive.
As it dries down, the fragrance matures into a warm, radiant glow. That's the evolution of a great perfume, right? It starts bright and fresh, but gives way to something deeper and more sophisticated.
Another captivating bottle we can talk about is Maison Martin's Pacha. This scent transports you right to that golden hour by the beach, featuring Italian bergamot and a hint of salty sea spray at the top. It offers this effortless chic quality rather than a typical sugary beach scent. When we think of summer, this captures that essence perfectly.
And in contrast, we have the New Co's Forest Lungs, which presents a different approach to fragrance altogether. Here, citrus is framed within a narrative of wellness. It aims to evoke the calming effects of a walk in the woods. This formula features bergamot, yet it's balanced with patchouli, vetiver, and benzoin to give a grounding, meditative quality rather than a purely energizing note.
That's a fascinating perspective on scent. It shows how complex and deep citrus fragrances can be, right? They're not just fresh bursts of energy, but can evoke moods and feelings ranging from calm to exhilaration.
Imagine transitioning from a bright, cheerful option to something more introspective with a few spritzes of Forest Lungs. The layering of these various elements showcases the unique interpretations of citrus that different brands bring to the table.
Next, let's discuss how to wear these delightful citrus perfumes. When selecting a scent, consider the setting. For an office-friendly option, look for compositions where the citrus is anchored with softer notes, such as gentle woods or white musk. This keeps the fragrance feeling clean rather than sharp.
And on the flip side, for evenings or more festive occasions, choose compositions that intertwine citrus with warmer sensual notes like amber, vanilla, or white florals. This way, the freshness of citrus flows seamlessly into a luxurious, alluring dry down.
Another key factor is application. Always spritz on pulse points, those warm areas of the body where the scent can bloom, like your wrists, inner elbows, and just below the collarbone. For those lighter, more refreshing eau de parfums, you can also do a light mist on your clothing or even in your hair, extending the longevity of the fragrance.
Great tips. And remember, scents tend to bloom more in the heat, so on a warm summer's day, don't be shy about applying a generous spritz of your favorite citrus fragrance.
As we transition to our final segment, how can our listeners find their perfect citrus self? When building a personal collection, it's essential to sample across a few directions. You might go for something bright and breezy, beachy salty, or grounded and woody.
If you lean towards the classical bright options, target scents that revolve around bergamot and neroli with a sheer clean base. This will give you that optimistic, just laundered aura we all love.
If you prefer something beachy salty, the Yuki Pacha's essence of sea spray and coconut, blended with citrus and florals, can invoke the memory of sun-kissed skin after a swim.
And for those who find themselves drawn to scents that are slightly more introspective, like the forest lungs, which mixes bergamot with patchouli and balsamic resins, it will surprise you with its calm yet refreshing core.
In the end, the real magic lies in how these notes interact with your personal skin chemistry. No magazine page or podcast can replicate that final heartfelt chapter of your scent story.
So thanks for joining us on this citrus-soaked edition of Scent Stories. If this episode has you eyeing the perfume counter differently, consider sampling a few of the bottles we've discussed. Pay attention not just to how they smell, but how they make you feel. Until next time, may your days be as bright and effervescent as a perfect spritz of bergamot.